one of the world's biggest bands has invited us into their studio for some fun and games.
Awesome. How's it going, guys? Holy crap, Metallica.
Let's meet the guys. Singer James Hetfield. Drummer Lars Ulrich. Guitarist Kirk Hammett. Bassist Rob Trujillo. Together, they are one of the most popular heavy metal bands of all time, selling over 100 million albums. And they were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in April 2009. Next stop, Time Warp.
Metallica, huh? We're in the Metallica studios, dude. How cool is that?
Well, let's get ready, because they're going to be in here in a second.
So what do you give the band that has seen it all? You show them things they've never seen before in themselves. That's right. We're going to warp each band member.
I've never seen my fingers move so slowly before, ever.
And give you an all-access backstage pass to the high-speed show.
I'd like to state for the record that I have no shoes on. Also have no underwear on, but can edit that part out.
First up, frontman James Hetfield. When dealing with a rock and roll legend, you treat him like a rock and roll legend.
Here. I think I got a job with Metallica.
Yeah. Water stand.
That's the only thing I'm qualified for.
Water boy.
Vocalist for a heavy metal band is a punishing breakneck job. And the stresses on James's body and vocal cords are obvious. Even in real time, we notice his intense facial contortions. Now watch at 2,000 frames per second as he literally spits out the lyrics. His power and concentration are amazing. Even James can't believe the amount of saliva that spews from his mouth.
Ah! Wow.
Yeah.
What was all that stuff?
Explain that.
You're creating vapor there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, when you pressurize your mouth like that, even at this temperature, you can create this thing to go to vapor, to go to steam.
It's awesome.
Look, there's little pieces of
You.
me flying.
Little pieces of you.
So when you go to a concert, that's what you get on you.
You're taking a little
expensive seats.
Little bit of James goes home with everyone in the front
You don't even
row.
know it. You can't even tell. Awesome. You don't want to use this mic.
No. So I think the next thing we want to grab is you wanted to bash a guitar?
I want to smash a guitar.
Well, which guitar do you like the least?
It has nothing to do with like or dislike. We respect our instruments.
Yeah.
But we just want to see how well they're made.
From the inside.
Pretty much.
All right, so we got a solid body right here, so this should be
Solid
pretty tough.
body, ESP LTD, worth about, 20 grand.
Not for long.
Okay, maybe not 20 grand, but smashing expensive guitars is a time-honored rock and roll ritual.
You guys ready?
Whenever you're ready. Again.
That was a good one. There you go.
James was such a fan of that, he wanted an encore.
We have a $50,000 X-Tone.
These get more and more expensive.
They
Easier
are.
to destroy.
This one's got some hollowness to it, so we'll see how this one goes. I'm hoping 2 whacks we can do this one.
I'm expecting 1. But
All right.
I trust you. All right, take it away. There you go. That was the one. All right, man. You want to take a look at these?
Sure. A solid body guitar is called solid for a reason. So I thought the bolt-on neck was the weak point where it was going to go.
Especially with that much mass.
Yeah, it held on really well. Look at the strings going.
Yeah. I was surprised the strings made it completely through this.
Yeah, it's a road-worthy guitar.
Next, James smashes the X-Tone at 1,000 frames per second.
Yeah. There's. This is the hollow body. I'm anxious to see what goes up the arms, if we can catch it in this shot. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Man, I gotta start working out. Jello.
If you're a Metallica fan, you know that in 1992, James suffered second and third degree burns to his arms, face, hands, and legs when he got on the wrong side of one of the band's special effects. Well, some genius thought it would be a great idea to recreate that accident and capture it in high speed.
Thank you. Well, the most horrifying moment in my life. You want to recreate in front of my eyes.
If you're comfortable with it, I think it's a potential to help it from happening to anyone else.
To pull this off, we bring in a pyrotechnic specialist.
Anybody that's within 4 to 6 feet of this is going to feel heat coming off of it.
And find a stand-in for James. A nice, juicy ham.
It's crazy how close it is to human skin there.
With high-speed camera in place, we clear the area and count it down.
Okay, fire in 3, 2, 1.
The flame is cooking our ham at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to cause third-degree burns on human flesh in a fraction of a second. This demonstration takes James on an unwanted stroll down memory lane.
I was playing Fade to Black. This is Montreal. The neck of the guitar I had was a natural colored wood. It was charred black, except where my hand was nice and white. All the strings instantly melted and exploded. Basically, my hand, the whole left side of me was, you know, my hair, everything just kind of went off. This was pretty much down to bone. Pretty much a year recovery.
Really?
I mean, it seems pretty amazing. The recovery seems
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
You're feeling
oh, everything's
all the way
great.
through
You know, just obviously a different color.
We were worried our reenactment might have struck the wrong chord. But those concerns quickly went up in smoke.
All right.
It's looking pretty bad.
Much better now.
In heavy metal, this principle is the same, even when played at lightning-fast speed by legendary guitarist Kirk Hammett.
What do you consider the important parts about your playing?
Well, actually, a lot of my technique comes from my right hand, the velocity of the picking of my right hand. But for my left hand, there is a lot of like hammer-ons, pull-offs, like for instance.
Gotta take a look at that.
And you can move it all over the neck.
So no right hand necessary.
No right hand necessary.
One of the things metal is famous for is guitar shredding, which is playing lots of notes as fast as possible. But to get his unique sound, Kirk also uses techniques known as hammer-ons and pull-offs. Hammer-ons allow you to play 2 or more notes for every pluck of a string.
Should we take a look at that stuff? Yeah, let's take a look. All right.
In a hammer-on, a finger presses a vibrating string into a fret, shortening it and making it play a higher note. The pull-off is the opposite of the hammer-on. The finger is released, so the vibrating part of the string becomes longer and plays a lower note.
Yeah, and you're doing octaves here?
Yeah, that's an octave right there at the 12th fret.
I always thought the hammer-on pull-offs were straight up and down, but it seems like you're giving it a lot of the energy by plucking it almost the way your right hand
Yeah,
would.
I'm hammering on with my finger, and the pull-off is off to the side.
So the hammer is kind of up and down, and then you scrape off sideways.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, just to put it in perspective, this entire clip that we're watching is probably 2 seconds.
Wow.
Right? So you were doing that awfully fast.
Playing heavy metal guitar is an aggressive sort of technique to begin with. You really have to hit the strings pretty heavily for maximum effect.
Gotcha. Not a lot of really, really quiet playing?
No delicate strings, because there's not really that much delicate playing.
Kirk's right. Delicate and Metallica do not belong in the same sentence.
You good?
You've heard the lecture. Now, here is Professor Kirk with the lab. And even with the high-speed slow-mo camera, it's hard to take notes.
This is just some general finger work. It looks like,
Wow.
taking your time.
I've never seen my fingers move so slowly before, ever.
At 1,000 frames per second, we can see how Kirk's incredible dexterity creates this blizzard of notes.
Now you're just doing a vibrato there?
Yeah, that looks like just a regular vibrato, yeah. Well, it's interesting to see the way my hand is kind of rocking back and forth. I've never seen any of this ever before, and so it's pretty interesting to me.
Awesome.
You've never had Metallica do this for us before either. How awesome was that?
Next up, bassist Rob Trujillo. Rob is the newest member of the band, having joined the group in early 2003.
Rocking. What are you doing there?
All right, save it for the camera. Save it for the camera.
Oh, sorry.
So what was that called?
That was called the gallop.
What are you doing with the gallop?
The gallop is, imagine horses running along the plains, the open plains. Well, your fingers are the horses. And basically it's just...
Three-legged horses.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in metal bass.
There's a lot of that in metal.
So we should...
Let's start with that, and then we're going to
Start
want to
with
get
the
you
bass.
just kind of going nuts playing this thing.
Okay, cool.
Rob uses a picking style that is unusual in the world of metal.
It seems like most bands that do harder stuff use picks when they play bass. Why do you do finger picking?
My father actually played flamenco guitar when I was growing up. So initially, my first experience actually visually seeing a guitar player was watching him play flamenco.
Okay.
I think that's where I adopted the technique. And then I noticed a lot of the old school bass players were using that same technique, and I just kind of went that route, you know. I'm not against pick playing at all. I think it's cool. It definitely has its place, but I'm better and more familiar with the finger technique.
You can even see the vibration go back and forth along the string.
All the way up. Amazing.
Yeah, you've got the lowest frequency of any of the people in your band, so it's much easier for us to capture.
Right.
Rob utilizes a technique borrowed from jazz and funk, slap bass. In slap bass, one hand literally slaps and pops the strings, giving Rob a more percussive sound and allowing him to play many notes quickly.
So this is the slap segment, which is pretty fast. Whoa.
And the thumb is just doing what here?
Well, the thumb actually, it sort of mutes that low B, which is the thicker string on top, and then bam! The 12's a blow.
We jump back to Rob, who's about to put his gear and our ears to the ultimate test. He wants to try to blow out a speaker.
And this is going to be any one of these four, right? It seems like it'll probably be one of these guys.
We like the idea. Plus, we just can't end without a little more mindless destruction.
All right, let the medievalness begin.
Turn it up to 11 and...
Turn it one louder.
So we try.
It's holding up pretty well.
It didn't blow!
So we try again.
Okay.
Still won't blow.
No, you got a good cabinet here.
Rob won't let it go, so we try again. Rob just won't give up. So he turns it up past 11 and heads for 13. And when all else fails, Rob reverts to the classical method of amp destruction. It's only rock and roll, and we like it.
That's why we're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
When we come back, we bang heads with drummer Lars Ulrich
Go ahead.
as Time Warp continues. Last stop on our magical mystery tour, founding member Lars Ulrich. Lars' drum work is legendary, but that achievement did not come without a cost.
After 30 years of playing, then I'm gonna have to put these guys in. I'll get a slow motion shot of these going into the ear and get the foam expanding in the ear canal.
We can do that.
All right.
We got an X-ray shot.
Maybe Lars should mention that earplug thing to Rob.
What do you say? What? I can't hear you. There's 24 people right here. Wow.
Don't get nervous.
At 5,000 frames per second, we can show Lars a few things about his drumming that he's never seen.
Whoa. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that flexible.
Super flexible. Wow. It's the only way it makes that much noise.
All right, then.
Sir? We just really want to take a look at all the energy that's in one of these hits. And why don't we just get a shot underneath?
Yeah.
See how the snare works.
Perfect.
Yeah, I got this super wide fish here.
Go ahead.
Okay. Anytime.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. Pretty good? Pretty good.
Let's see what you guys got.
We'll see what
All
you
this
got.
equipment you have everywhere.
The slow motion footage shows the hidden anatomy of a drum hit.
This is the underside of the drum, how the snare actually works.
Whoa.
And this is just one hit.
One hit, 5,000 frames per second.
That's unbelievable. It's art. Look at
It
that.
is totally art.
Huh?
I mean, one of the most interesting things to me here is if all these guys move together with the membrane moving back and forth, the snare drum would be tonal. It would be just like any of these stringed instruments. It would have a frequency. The fact that these are all moving at different rates because of the chaos involved in the membrane is why it's a percussion instrument and not a tone instrument.
Wow.
I was going to tell you that, but I figured I'd
There's
let you explain that.
there's a teaching gig in there somewhere for you.
wow.
Something, man.
Maybe I'll
wow.
host a science show.
Yeah,
We should
you
do that.
should. Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Very cool.
Anything about the footage we're looking at that you haven't seen before?
I didn't know my hairline was receding that far back.
Well, we're
But
slowing it down.
You guys can fix that in post. I didn't know that there was that much movement involved. I mean, when I play drums, it always feels to me like the body's taking most of the hit, and now I can see how much the toms are moving, how much the hi-hat's moving, how much the cymbals. I mean, the energy goes everywhere. I did not know all this stuff, but thank you for enlightening me.
Absolutely.
Any last thoughts, Lars?
Put your tongue back in your mouth. This is a family show. Please.
As Metallica plays us out, check out discovery.com/timewarp for more information on the science behind the stories. And while you're there, tell us if there's anything you'd like to see warped.